Hey guys, it's me Chandrigan. So today's video we'll talk about the brand new Norman because they just revamped a lot of them. So in here mostly I will cover about the tips and trick that maybe can help you. I will not say this is guide because probably I don't think you will become a good guide, but I will try my best. So let's get started. Before I continue, I want to warn you again, I will not cover every single boss tutorial how to defeat one by one, okay? If not, that will take it over an hour, even 2 hours. So because of that, this is only like I say the general stuff. I will cover actually the boss, but only very brief in general. So yeah, if you kinda expect that, then just don't watch this video. Let's start with the brief introduction, what makes different from the old Norman into the new Norman. So basically the new Norman gives you more quality of life and convenience, so it feels more accessible for you and feels nicer to going into Norman. So the most noticeable is that the stages right now divided into 6, and that's basically it. You don't need to do others because before we need to do cover tactics, right? It's quite hassle sometimes. So all the reward in here already like put everything into one, and that's nice. And also the things that I really like, there's no more like waiting, like you don't need to clear in the first 3 days, like there's no limit. You can basically clear on the first day, on the last day, in the middle you want to do at your convenience time. You can just clear everything at once between like 2 weeks, of course. Another thing is that the element restriction is more forgiving right now. Like aside the main element, of course, to get the most buff, right now we have the secondary buff, so it's not necessary you have to follow like one like fixed element in here, so which is pretty nice. Lastly, regarding the battery itself, the battery is available everything at once. You don't need to wait anymore, or you don't need to put like certain character with a certain requirement, because I feel that's quite hassle for some player, right? So this one is just nice, it's just available directly too. So yeah, that's everything, the nice changes. Okay, regarding the tips for the new Norman, basically not so much different with the old one. The fundamental is pretty much around the same, but I'll just make more simple. The first tip, which is the team preset, this is mostly about convenience, is to set up all your team first. So later when you enter the set, you don't need to keep like enter or like putting your team like one by one. It's quite annoying for me. This is actually a lot more feels convenient, kind of shortcut. So as you can see, you can just go, let's say like physical, you go in here, team preset, just go with your preset of your physical, go like this and confirm something like that. And then yeah, just do every single of the team. And yeah, you can ignore first the buff in here because I will just talk later. And then the battery allocation also I will talk later. And actually you can try quick deploy, but you can see there's some of replacement kind of weird. I don't want like Maminata in here. That's why I say like just better just go with the manual and go with the team preset like this and then confirm. It's much better. And in the end, of course, you can adjust like which one you want, the leader, the starter, something like that. Yeah, you can just do in here. So basically when you enter the stages in here, every single the boss in here will have buff. So you can see for this first stage, the buff is give you shield and give you more attack. So if you find this is really annoying, you cannot clear directly in here, you feel like it's too hard, then you can go to this smaller stage to deactivate the buff. So when you, let's say, clear this stage, the barrier will gone. So the boss that you fight will no longer have disadvantage of the shield. So it makes easier for you to fight the boss. So if you find it's too annoying, you deactivate the buff and go with the boss. And if you want to ask me, is there any like buff that quite annoying? I say yes, there's a couple of them. First is the one that I find super annoying, which is the one that gives you heal, which is this one. If you see this one, just try to remove. I remember when I'm still early game, this is I hate so much, so try to remove this first. Another thing is that the one that takes you energy, that's also very annoying. See, upon receiving lightning damage, character lose dodge and energy. So meaning that sometimes you already have ult ready, getting lightning, your ult is gone and then you have to attack again. It's so annoying. So yeah, those two actually my priority, the one that you should kinda like remove. This one, the one that energy loss, and the one that gives you heal is the one that you should prioritize to remove at first if you feel like you still not enough to kill the boss directly. Also like annoying buff that were to mention too, which is this one. The assistant prime will revive 20 seconds after that. So the assistant prime is basically the minion, usually like purple color. That's also quite annoying. So imagine they revive, that's quite annoying if you're a new player. Or this one also, the assistant prime will give buff to the boss itself and immunity, which is quite annoying too. So yeah, if you find like this kind of buff, try to remove too if you find that's too hard to fight boss directly. The next thing that I want to talk is that the first 3 stage, if I'm wrong, under strat to mine, if you already clear once here, you can auto clear. So you don't need to worry that you have to keep redoing again and again. So it can save your time. So you just need to do from Cloud Island Mine to Abyssal Mountain, or we can say the last 2 stage. So it quite save you some time. And the next tips, this is mostly for new player. If you're a new player, don't force yourself to clear until Abyssal Mountain, man. And if you feel why you can clear, it's actually very normal, because the last one is actually relatively hard for new player. It requires you fully built team and lots of different teams, so quite demanding. And even then, the reward is only this one. I know the BC quite tempting, but that's it. You will not miss anything else than that, because other like rewards is only locked until like Cloud Island Man. So if you already can clear until Cloud Island Man, that's already good enough if you're a new player. You should already happy, and time to time later, if you have fully built more teams, then you can start to clear in here. So don't stress too much if you cannot clear on the last stage yet. And the next tips, this is we will talk regarding the battery itself. So some of the battery in here, it has limit in order for you to get all the rewards, so pay attention to that. So it's actually very easy. When you ever see it's still green, that means you will still can get all reward. But whenever it's already become yellow, that means you will not get all the reward. So pay attention to that. You can actually see also the guide in here. See, until the Bole Mine, the limit only 50 if you want to get all the reward. If you go that, you will not get all the rewards. So you have to kind of tone down in here. So maybe let's say in here 30, in here 10, and in here 10, something like that. Then yeah, you can go all the reward. And the next thing regarding the battery allocation, what is the best approach for the allocation of this battery? And actually there's a couple approach that I like to do. So first approach is that you can starting from your strongest team to your weakest team. So if you start from your strongest team, don't use any battery. So if you can clear that, that means that's good, right? So if you, let's say you go from your strongest team until let's say like dark team, you can clear without any battery, and you struggle maybe in physical, and you can just try to increase, maybe try 50. Is it enough or not? If it's not enough, try to raise maybe 100. If not, like maybe let's just make 200, and then yeah, this is can clear. And then yeah, the rest we can just put everything on the last, so it can become easier on the last stage. So something like that. However, the second approach is that you can start starting from your weakest team. So one example, maybe your weakest team is physical. Maybe you can try again, same. Try maybe 50. If it cannot clear, increase by another 50. If not, increase by 50, and try again until what? Maybe like until 250, something like that. And you feel okay. And then the rest, like go to your second weakest. Maybe this one only need 200. So not too bad, not as bad as. And maybe this one, okay. The rest maybe just 300 in here. And can clear, sure. And the rest just put in here then. Because this is probably your strongest team, and that's supposed to be the easiest one, so something like that. However, if you want to give your faith to the god, then you can actually give quick allocate. It will just do based on the, I think the AI itself to generally like they think like which one they should allocate this battery, then you can try this approach too. I never try actually by myself, but maybe it can be a fun idea for you. As for the buff, I'll just explain the simple version, and I mostly highlight which one is good in the solo or even rotation. So basically among all these buffs, all of them actually very good. It just very depends on your strategy. I'll start with the recovery. Recovery is very good for both survivability and give you damage. Mostly the one that I will use is stimulation and conversion. Stimulation has more balance in your survivability because it can negate little damage and give you extra damage. Conversion is mostly about give you damage, and it's very easy to trigger. As long as you add 100%, you can get extra damage up to 26%. And this one very good for solo. That's why if you want to play maybe solo character like Alpha, this one I usually recommend. The last one actually very good diversion, but this one very risky because you will lose your HP every single second. This is also good for solo, but I can say it's very risky. So if you cannot take this risk, I just recommend for you to take conversion. And as for gravity, usually this is related with any movement, so any character that move a lot can utilize this buff. And usually the buff that I only use, which is stimulation, because conversion, this one kinda hard. You need to stay without moving, so that's why I prefer stimulation. As long you keep moving, you get buff. So mostly character, let's say like Lee Hyperil in fire teams, very suitable, or even Lamia Dark, you can utilize this buff. As for Matrix, this is basically very universal buff. Any single character that can trigger Matrix can utilize this. This one can pretty much work in any like both solo or rotation. Usually that I will use is either stimulation or conversion. But I prefer to use convergence most of that case because it's just you need to ping in the matrix and you will get more damage. Usually I just put, let's say like in Bianca Stigmata, or even like let's say like Lamia, or even like character that can trigger matrix and you need to ping in the middle. Let's say like Watanabe too, this one can be utilized too. As for the camouflage, this is another universal buff. As long you keep dodging, you will get the buff. So the first one, the stimulation, this is pretty much universal. As long you like tap dodge, you will get extra damage bonus for 5 seconds. So you just need to keep reminded to do dodge. Another thing, if you want to keep do rotation, yeah, this is also pretty much nice too. You will get extra damage and also you will get the gauge back for the dodge for 10 seconds, which is pretty nice if you want to play like rotation. But this one is more for solo if you want. As for Turbulence, this is, I can say, the most RNG buff, but yet can give you the best output because it's very RNG, but also can give you the biggest nightmare. So it's just very gambling. So I don't know, it's very depend. If you like gambling, then you can go in here. And usually the buff that I choose is stimulation because the other else I don't find like quite useful. This one good if you can, let's say like speedrun. However, if not, after that the effect is gone. So that's why I say this is more consistent. But again, this is RNGC. It fluctuates between 80% and 103%. Even like the basic buff itself, see, random number every 15 seconds. You will get this like literally random. And the last one, which is Rip. This is Rip, also pretty much good buff in general. It covers both solo and even rotation. So for the first two, like buff, stimulation, conversion, this is mostly about switching character. So see, after you do certain combo, you will get like up to like increased damage 40% for 8 seconds, and then when you switch, it will reset again. You will do the combo again. And then for the conversion, also same. Whenever you switch, you will get the damage. And for the last one, this is good for solo. As long you have like this certain of combo itself, you will get the extra damage. So yeah, these two is for rotation. The diversion is for solo. And the last one, which is preparation. Preparation buff itself is mostly about switching character. So this one not for solo. This is exclusive for switching character. So this is very good for the typical team that really have fast pace changing. Let's say like fire team usually will benefit a lot from this. Usually that I like to put, which is convergent, it's just very similar like amplifier skill. As long you switch the character, you will get damage bonus. In this one also, diversion still pretty good. As long you deal certain damage, you will get like extra damage after you switch the character. And the next tips, if you find that you still struggle with your own character, you can actually borrow one character from your friends or your guild. So one example in here, I have from the guild that literally have triple S plus Bianca Stigmata. So let's say I'm struggle in physical team, I can just borrow this character or Bianca and it will make a lot easier actually. So yeah, don't forget to utilize this feature, and take notes, it has limited of usage. So in here up to 6. So that's the general stuff regarding the Norman. Now I'll talk the difficult part, which is the last stage, the Abyssal Mountain Mine. So this is mostly for the middle to end game player. And in here, if you ask me what is the most comfortable spot for you to clear this without so much sweat, especially for casual. So far in my testing, if you want to clear quite comfortably, very minimum 2 from your 3 character is fully built meta character. SS rank, it's fine if you don't have harmonization. As long they fully hypertune with the right resonance, usually you already can clear. And of course, I prefer the newest character, the better. So let's say in fire team, you have Leaf Empire and Watanabe Epitaph, usually you already can clear. If you don't have Lee Hyperil, it's still pretty much okay, you can still clear. But of course, if you have 3 of them, it's like full meta and SS rank, it's usually make a lot easier already. It's very doable. So yeah, that's usually the minimum requirement. 2 of them is SS rank and meta fully built. And if you ask me how about Gen 1 character or A rank, I can say it's very tough. Compared to before, it's still doable, but right now it cannot. Just because right now the Norman for the last stage, all of them is have timing. At least all the one that I tried the different version, it has timing. Even the JP version, it has timing. I don't know they will have the no time or not, but so far it's all has time. And most of the boss right now have so much gimmick. Then in here that if you want literally to maximize your time, you need to abuse this time stop, which is can only utilize by Gen 2 character. A rank and Gen 1 cannot. That's why they really lose a lot of value in there. For if you want to use Gen 1 character, literally maybe only some of them like meta, let's say like Vera Garnet or even like Rosetta. But other than that, if you want to use let's say like Alpha Crimson Abyss or even Bianca Veritas, it will be super tough. Maybe triple S, but I don't have triple S Gen 1. Maybe you can try that, but if you only SS, it's super tough. It's not like before that possible, or even A rank before you still can do that. Right now we cannot. It's getting harder. And I'm not talking like, oh yeah, but I can do this because maybe you are the most skillful. Sure, but we are just talking this is regarding like if you were just like casual. It's very hard without Gen 2 character. And now we will talk regarding the boss. Overall, the boss in here, I don't find most of them is quite annoying. The one that I want to highlight first, which is the most annoying one, which is Lilith. Lilith, pretty much I can say the most annoying, not because it's hard. It's mostly because she has so much gimmick that makes so much of you like waste your time. Because first in here, if you enter the battle, I want to give you a remind, if her health around 81, don't do full like attack. Just follow the gimmick first, which is you need to dodge and attack until you see the literally the announcement or whatever notification is done, and you can start to attack Unga Bunga again or just all out again. And that's also the first gimmick that you need to pass. After that, you need to go with a lot of the grab move that she will have here and there. You need to dodge that. And the last thing, before she almost dies, she will have this card that she will kinda refill. And how to get the right card is to see whatever card that have upside down. If you literally hit the one that upside down, you can hit Lilith right away. So yeah, don't forget to pay attention in those gimmick. The rest is pretty much straightforward, but it's just like, yeah, it's quite time consuming with dodge gimmick. She has so much drop and you need to guess the correct card. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. That for the Aether Abyss, it's quite straightforward because Aether Abyss, the best that you can do is just keep parry, and then to parry it's very hard to teach. As long as you heal the metal sound, don't forget just to attack if you want to serve the parry. And usually, assuming you use meta character is Lamia, right? And if you already have Lamia, you can just ignore that because Lamia movement is a lot. It's just like literally auto parry without you even trying. So you can see even in my clip that, oh, actually I do parry. No, it's because I just do all my whole normal rotation. Lamia just auto parry it. So yeah, you don't need to think so much if you already have Lamia. But also if you want to serve with the parry, Karina Shear also still pretty much nice because she has a low spin. It's easy to parry too. For Trailblazer boss, he actually pretty straightforward. It's just like he has a lot of movement and also different moveset. The one that quite dangerous when he do like spinning, usually it's already in the second space. Usually it will hit you quite hard, so be careful. Also the aura punch, it will drain you, so it's very hard for you to move, and also it can hit you quite hard, so be careful in that. And regarding like the timing of parry, if you really wonder, is that whenever he about to dive from the sky to the ground, that's the part that you can parry usually. Usually it has like the sound of, you know, metal, you know, if you already play PGR, you kinda know. Yeah, usually he has parry there, and some of them only one, some of them 3 sequence. So yeah, there's some of them that you can pay attention in there. But in my tips, usually because this is physical, using Bianca Stigmata, it's supposed to be not that hard. Just keep doing your normal rotation, it will auto parry. That's why I say Gen 2 character is really good because they have built in with a lot of different attacks, so it's just like auto parry that you need to find like the right timing. Let's say like the Gen 1 character that you need to time right. With Gen 2, you pretty much just do your own rotation, it somehow just auto parry. As for the primal projection, I think she is the most straightforward. As long that you keep dodging, you are fine. The only annoying part about her is that she will have couple of grab moves that sometimes can waste your time, and the last part that she will have the portal that will send you to another world and it will hit you quite hard, so don't forget to dodge that. I will show you the clip in here. yeah, just make sure to dodge. If not, sometimes it's one hit kill. And the last boss, which is Fusion. Fusion in general pretty much a straightforward boss. He has also a couple of moves that you can parry, but the things I want to say that annoying about him is that he can waste you a lot of time because he has a lot of different grab move, because he basically is wrestler, and then he will do a lot of different grab wrestling move that can waste a lot of time, especially if he already have this tail stuff. You should be careful and dodge. So don't forget to keep dodge whenever he start to attack. If not, you will end up wasting a lot of time. And also the thing, whenever he enter the second phase, he will do the bell, literally shout like that. So be careful with that. That takes you quite a lot of damage. So yeah, that's basically it. Especially for the last stage, it's just matter of you just getting used to with the boss and have a very good well built, like especially if you have like fully meta build, and that's actually even better. And maybe if you want the extra tips, so far in my testing is that instead you just too much focusing on following their gimmick or like want to surf their parry, it just like, I think I just recommend for you to just ignore that and just keep focusing on your rotation. Just ignore, except for Lilith. Lilith, you need to follow their gimmick, but the other boss, just keep doing with your own rotation. I will give you an example in Trailblazer. With my Bianca Stigmata, I just ignore all the gimmick from Trailblazer. I just keep doing Bianca Stigmata that trigger like ultimate as fast as you can, like abuse this time stop. It's actually faster than I actually keep search for the parry for Trailblazer. So because of that, maybe you can try that approach. So yeah, pretty much that's it. I hope it can helpful. I don't know if it's actually helpful or not, but if you find yes, and if you like this video, feel free to hit support button and like, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye, and yeah, you can do it.